specifically as women, because the show is Lessons from Muslim Women on Healing, how do we get in the way of our own healing?
I would say victim mindset. I think
Elaborate on it.
that's the biggest thing is
Okay.
that, and I don't think it's our fault, just to be clear, at least not in the beginning, because we don't know.
Mhm.
I think that sometimes, let me speak for myself.
Yes.
I internalized a lot of messages that said that I had to put myself last
Mm.
to serve other people and to make other people happy, to
Mhm.
obey other people, to make sure they're okay. And it can be parents, it can be spiritual leaders, your husband, even your own children. Put them before yourself.
Mhm.
And what ends up happening, and what happened with me, is I was just mentally, emotionally exhausted and
Wow.
trying to fulfill all these roles that I just felt helpless. But in the beginning, I began to feel like this is what Allah wants from me, so
Mhm.
I'm going to keep going.
Right.
But as time went on, it became frustrating, it became confusing, and then the resentment comes up, and people don't appreciate it, and it's
Right.
kind of like you become like a rug. I mean, you're a rug. You're supposed to be on the floor, right? I mean, what's there to
Wow.
complain about, you
Right.
know? So, and then, I begin to get angry, and so, but what I realized is that Allah didn't ask me to be a rug, you know.
Right.
And even if I'm serving and pleasing my husband, or serving and pleasing my parents, I'm still a soul.
That's right.
And getting out of that mindset that I can't draw boundaries.
Mhm.
And I think for me, one of the biggest steps that I took, and the scariest steps in a practical way, was getting a divorce.
Mm.
Because I mean, my parents, by the time my father passed away in 2019, they had been married over 50 years.
Oh, and then
And so many of my siblings, 30 years over here, so, and it the community I was a part of, that was not something that was looked upon as something good. I mean, and even I
Mhm.
got messages from people telling me they disagree with me or whatever. But what I was telling one of my friends, I said the challenge is that we cover each other, and we have our own faults. Our brothers in Islam have their fault.
Right.
So nobody really knows when you make a decision. It really just seems like it's just out of the blue, and you can just kind of get into this space. And I was really upset because the community wasn't there,
Right.
and I just was like, even though they should be,
Mhm.
should prioritize people's emotional and spiritual health over
Right.
optics, you know, we don't. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I had to ask myself, how are you showing up for yourself?
Right.
You're complaining about other people not showing up for you, but how are you showing up for yourself? And that's what I mean